Yeah. Thank you. Okay, thank you so much, Liana, for walking us through the progress updates on the EduWiki conference 2025 taking place in Bogota. And since we don't have any questions for the conference committee, we'll move on to the next agenda, and which is the future of EduWiki. Now, before we look at the future of EduWiki, I think it would be interesting to understand our history and why we want to transition into a hub-like structure. Like I said earlier, we became a recognized athlete in 2018, and we are entirely volunteer-led. Given our reach, including like we have about 500 plus members and 29 athlete members, this indicates that we have like a very big community, right? And diverse community at that. Our membership, just for you to know a little bit our community structure, it's an open membership. We are open to everyone as long as you are running a Wikipedia or Wikimedia education related project. We make our membership open to everyone. And in terms of governance, community structure, our committees, I mean the board, are elected by an biennially. That means every 2 years, we elect new board members. And I've also spoken a little bit about some of our core activities, which include the EduWiki Knowledge Showcase, the regional conferences, international conferences that we hold. We also collaborate with other Wikimedia athletes running regional EduWiki conferences as well. We run mentorship program, and we offer local and international program support in terms of curriculum development and also supporting communities running wiki education programs. And like I said, we use our monthly newsletters to share best practices and success stories of our community members that are happening globally. And we are also key on partnership and close collaboration. And that's why we are proud to say that we have about 29 athletes members who are part of our user group. Now, in terms of our governance structure, like I said, it's entirely volunteer-led. It means all of our roles, including the communications, we send out the newsletter, publication, all of our board meetings, organizing for conferences are entirely volunteer-based. And as a result of this, it has limited the coordination capacity. And also, given that we have like a very wild, a big community, we are also faced with the challenge of meeting the diverse needs of this community over time. And in order to create like a sustainable future for our community and offer solutions to address the fragmentation, which has reduced our overall impacts over the years between 2010 till date, and also like reducing the amounts of support that we can provide to our community members. We thought that it would be great to see how we can meet the diverse need of our community by launching a participatory post-process research, which we did between 2023 to 2024. And this research tagged towards a theory of change for Wikimedia education was the first phase of this participatory research, which engaged experienced Wikimedia education leaders in different athletes. And we as a result of this consultation we had for the first participatory process, we discovered that there was a need to address some challenges that we discovered during this research process. And having identified this problem in the first phase of the research, we thought it would also be useful to see how we want to change this problem. We want to address the problem that we are facing currently, especially because it was volunteer-based. It was entirely run on a volunteer governance structure, right? And we also needed to engage community to identify new ways that we can grow our community and respond to the current realities, because since 2018 up to date, a lot of things have changed. And also we can see how AI is also changing how Wikipedia and its sisters projects are seen, right, globally. So we thought we needed a strategic evolution, or a strategic next step that would help us initiate a community that is driven for a sustainable future. And this was also to be in alignment with the movement strategy proposed thematic hub framework, which as I go through this presentation, I'll be sharing more insights into what we are envisioning for the hub-like structure that we are proposing. I will be dropping some of this link in the chat in case you would like to go through them to see the findings, and also see our TOC, the theory of change that we are proposing for the hub-like, the Wiki Edu hub-like structure. Now, the reason why we wanted to also why we developed the theory of change is to strengthen our services and also the impact that we make, because our community has grown, and so should our governance model also change or adapt to meet the current needs and realities that we have for our community members. And also we wanted to bring decision making closer to the community, because we believe that when everyone is involved in the decision-making process, then we are able to respond to our various needs and collectively co-create how we want the EduWiki user group to look like, and how we are going to sustain this community. Now, as part of the research we carried out, we had some key findings. Like I said, we did the first phase, and we also did the TOC, which was a follow-up for the first phase of the research. And for the key findings, we recognize, one, the need for a clearer definition of education, and also the need to improve coordination and enhance knowledge sharing. We also discovered the need to provide a more robust technological support for our members, and also the programs that they run, and how we can support a diverse program size, because different Wikimedia education programs and activities are run globally, and sometimes they differ according to the different regions that carry out these projects or these programs. And in order to respond to this effectively, the TOC was the change agent that we adopted. Now, the TOC was to help us develop a formal strategic process that would help us identify key principles that would shape this new community that we want to initiate or transition into. And we also needed to identify specific objectives that will help us drive this change. So the TOC was the best solution to help us identify and respond to all of these needs. And some of the anticipated impacts that we envision is that we believe that if we are clear on our principles and objective and our impact, then it would help enhance our membership and also help our members feel more supported, as sometimes people feel left out or not being carried along in all of our processes or activities that we carry out. And also, we believe that this would help provide more professional opportunities or specific opportunities for our community members and increase their project success rates for both the Wikimedia and open education movement. Now, what does this EduWiki hub looks or EduWiki hub-like structure look like, and how is this going to help us transform and sustain our community? Now, let's speak more on the hub-like structure and what it looks like. But before then, I think it's also interesting for us to know what a hub is. Like we all know, everyday definition of hub is a community center or like a co-working space that is welcoming, that feels like home, where people can come together to share resources, exchange ideas, and collaborate on projects. Now, this is how we want to see our Wikimedia plus education transition into, right? And the hub is not just about exchanging ideas, sharing resources, but also about collaboration, right? And according to the movement strategy definition, it's like a type of support that is structured to enable a common space for coordinating activities and identifying and advocating for the needs of communities and organizations that they serve. And this way, it brings community closer to decision making. And if you would like to also read more on this, I'll be dropping the link in the chats. Yeah, so there are three guiding principles for the hub. And one of them is the hub is service driven, right? It focuses on delivering practical support tools and capacity building to members. Now, this is what we want the EduWiki Hub to look like. And this is what we want to do. This is what we envision for the EduWiki Hub. Also, it's independent and efficient. It has an independent and efficient governance. So the hub is a community that's is self-managed, right? And with clear decision-making process, which involves the community in all of the processes and activities that they run. Now, this is how we want the EduWiki to our transitioning, or what we envision to sustain our community. It has to be independent, it has to be efficient, and it needs to have a well-defined stakeholder. Now, we want to better identify who is involved. We want to be clear on our user groups. I mean, like groups, subgroups that will be involved in coordinating our programs, right? And priorities for the hub and their roles, right? And because we believe that when we have a well-defined stakeholder, it also helps to simplify and help everybody understand what roles and responsibility they have as part of their contribution towards the sustainability of the EduWiki community. Now, for the EduWiki hub-like structure, we have proposed a structure, and we believe that this structure would serve as a central support system for Wikimedia and education activities by providing coordination, resources, and strategic guidance for members, right? And because we want to also address the concern of being entirely volunteer-based, we thought it would be useful to employ dedicated staff to support this work. And the dedicated staff will work in coordination with the advisory committee, which would be setting up. And this is because we want to ensure continuity and also sustainability of both our short, medium, and long-term goal, which is outlined in the TOC. If you look through the link I shared in the chat, you'll be able to see more on the breakdown of what we aim to achieve uh, as we transition, right? Now, this hub-like structure would also facilitate ongoing capacity building, which we have been running through mentorship. And we also wanted to not just provide ongoing capacity building and mentorship for members, but also for learners, our audience, participants, people that we engage, right? And we hope that this hub-like structure will help us develop and maintain a global repository of OER to support open education practices. Now, there are a lot of programs, initiatives that are being carried out by community members, but there's no centralized repository where anyone who wants to maybe adapt a similar project in another region um can just go through there and like have access to. So currently we don't have like a centralized repository, and this hub-like structure aims to provide that service. Now, another good objective or goal for this EduWiki hub-like structure is that we want to strengthen community engagement. So beyond just holding EduWiki knowledge showcase, we also thought it's would be useful to hold continuous, whether monthly, bi-weekly, community engagement, so as get to get communities to share about their problems, how we can better support them. And we thought to also provide more technical infrastructure to support the work that we are doing. How can we initiate structures or put structures in place that will help us better measure our metrics for projects that we run and for programs or initiatives that we intend to carry out. Also, we thought it would be useful to have like a research network to advance innovation and evidence-based EduWiki practices. This, we believe, would help us change the perception of educators about how they should use Wikipedia in the classroom and other Wikimedia projects. Now, this is what we envision for the hub-like structure. Now, some of the key services of the hub, like pilots that we intend to carry out, includes boosting community engagement. So we want to boost community engagement by improving our newsletter and monthly, and also embarking on like a monthly connection course. Now, the newsletter currently is being managed by 4 volunteers, including myself. And we thought that if we could have like a regional representation for newsletter publication, it would further help us get a lot of people across different communities to share their EduWiki stories, right? And also we'll have more hands to support with newsletter publication activities. Some of other key services of the hub pilot is that we want to collaborate on enhancing our dashboard to expand global access to key technical tools. Now, sometimes we often hear how the outreach dashboard has sometimes like does not work properly or does not respond to like the metrics that community members want to measure and how they want the outreach dashboard to be improved upon. So we want to use this hub pilot to improve and expand global access to the outreach dashboard, and also address some of the issues that the dashboard currently is not responding to. These up pilots will also coordinate the EduWiki conference, including handling, planning, logistic, and partnership. So currently, our conferences are usually organized or in collaboration with existing Wikimedia affiliates. So usually we have to partner with Wikimedia affiliates to carry out our conferences. And sometimes this might be very taxing for them because they have some other projects or programs ongoing for them. So we thought it would be useful and more easy to have this hub um, organize and coordinate and plan logistics and even like source for partners for conferences that we organize, right? Also, this hub hopes to support new leaders through a structured mentorship program for sustainable growth. Now, we've run some mentorship program in the past, and because, like I said, it was more volunteer and led or coordinated, there's limited coordination capacity. And so we believe if this hub is established, it would have like a more structured strategic mentorship program to support new and even existing leaders to improve their skill as it relates to carrying out or organizing Wikimedia education programs. Also, we want to maintain a global resource repository for different EduWiki programs, projects, resources, tools that are being used by different communities. We want to have a repository for this, and with that, we need the support. We need a more like strategic coordination to ensure that this is implemented. Also, we want to serve as a central contact point by promoting inclusive governance, building strategic partnership for Wikimedia education. Currently, there, even though there is like the Wikimedia education user group, we want to be more strategic in the way we respond to community needs, and not just community needs, but external stakeholders, right? So having these key services as part of the up pilots would help us address these needs that we have detailed. Now, we also have proposed a governance structure for the EduWiki Hub. And because it has to be community-centered governance, we thought it would be good to have like the user group board act as an oversight to all of the programs, activities that will be carried out by the hub. And we also want to have an advisory committee, which will be divided into working groups. I'll be speaking more on the working groups shortly. And this governance structure has to be very transparent, and it would continue to evolve as we test the pilots. We look forward to the governance structure being inclusive and decentralized in such a way that everyone feels carried along, everyone is part of the decision-making process. And most importantly, this hub would help provide effective service delivery for the different programs and activities that will be running. So this is what the proposed EduWiki Hub governance structure would look like. First, we want to prioritize advisory committees who will be divided into working groups, and then have the user group board serve as an oversight act to oversee like all of the coordination programs that will be carried out as part of this EduWiki Hub pilots. Now, more on what the advisory committee looks like. The essential hub services which this pilots would carry out include outreach and engagement, resource curation and development, development, technical infrastructure, capacity building, and volunteer support. Now, I would just like to speak more on what each of these working group would do. Now, for the outreach and engagement, they'll be responsible for expanding EduWiki visibility and impact through partnerships, communications, and promotion of education program within and beyond the Wikimedia space. Now, for the resource curation and development, they'll be responsible for curating, creating, organizing, and localizing resources to support and scale Wikimedia education programs globally. For the technical infrastructure, they will be responsible for supporting technical strategies and tools that would enable effective delivery of EduWiki programs. Now, for capacity building and volunteer support, this working group, would be responsible for organizing training, mentorship, and peer learning to support the growth and well-being of volunteers and education leaders globally. Now, this is what each of this working group would focus on. And like I said, the user group board is taking ownership of this new pilots, and they would oversee hiring of 2 key staff members, the EduWiki Hub coordinator, and also a technical coordinator to support the technical infrastructure group to help us manage and drive success of the hub. And these coordinators will work with the advisory committee, which had also shared on what their services or roles and responsibilities will include. Now, the Wikimedia Brazil will serve as our fiscal sponsor for the EduWiki Hub, and they will ensure transparency and effective financial administration to support the work that the advisory committee and also the coordinators will be doing. And like every other hub initiative, this call is to invite you as members from across the Wikimedia education ecosystem to help us co-create this hub. Now, we envision that this working group would dedicate 2 to 3 hours per month to this to the various roles and responsibilities that they will be assigned. And we would also like to encourage athletes, education program officers to be part of this EduWiki Hub by dedicating some of their work hours to the EduWiki Hub programs. Now, the working group members would have to come monthly as part of the advisory committee to guide and advise on key decisions that are relevant to the different programs and activities that they'll be carrying out. Now, this is just brief about what the EduWiki Hub pilots intend to do. And now we are open to questions and comments. And I'll take a pause now to hear from everyone on the call. If you have questions, comments, if there's anything you need more clarity on, this is a good time to ask questions. Thank you.
Can we ask loud, or are we supposed to write in the chat?
Oh, Oh, yes. I think you can just unmute your mic to speak and just ask in the chats because I don't know what's really wrong with my AHA slide. I feel like it's not working properly. But yes, let's see if you can just use the mic, that will be fine.
So sorry to start with concerns, but my general concern or challenge I see is that the education field is as diverse as is the worldwide community. So we came to different approach to educational systems, to different like levels of involvement. We have the affiliates and the user groups, and then regions which are underrepresented, and regions which are heavily connected to, I don't know, structures like UNESCO, or like there is such a diversity in terms of needs that I'm a little bit wondering how is this possible to connect through topic, through team, um, to, and especially in the level of the working groups. If I imagine like individuals coming from a very different culture and let's say strategical or political background, plus from very different level of the involvement and then the situation, it's just it feels a little bit like an overkill. but, but it's just I'm just putting this loud as a question whether this was on the table, because maybe you answered these questions already for us before.
Thank you so much for asking that question, Lucy. So prior to this proposal, we had run like a series of participatory research process, like I said, where we tried to like identify the needs of the community. And we believe that that process was really as inclusive as possible to get members to identify the needs that we need to prioritize. Also, we want to ensure that this a hub-like structure has representation of diverse members from across different regions. And we believe that since it's going to be a collective like co-creation process, then whatsoever decision representatives in each of these working group are making, it has to address the needs of the community, regardless of how diverse or how broad our programs might be. So yeah, I don't know if I respond correctly to your question, but maybe Joel also has one or two to share.
Yeah, thanks. And there are many questions on the chat also, Bukola. So Lucy, thanks for the question. I agree with your assessment that there is international scope and diversity in the EduWiki movement, and this is part of how we've run. But there is also a need of better coordination on some key elements: technical infrastructure, uh, global communications, conference building, and all these has been done by volunteers, but there is no support anymore. The foundation doesn't have an education team, and we are sort of left in a situation in which we need to take responsibilities and the ownership of these global processes into our hands. And this is what this proposal is about. And I don't think we have and will have the capacity in the short term to solve local issues. I don't even think this is what this hub-like infrastructure should be doing, but we need to address these global core needs that no one is addressing right now.
Thank you so much,
Thanks.
Joel, for responding. Lucy, do you have more questions? Does that respond to your question?
Slightly, but also I don't want to take a space for everybody. My second question would be, maybe do we continue discussing this at the conference itself, or is this just warm up this one to get us engaged, or is it to be informed, or to be still, are we still polishing the process with you or not? I'm a bit lost now where we are, but I would like to give a space to other people also. So I always have some questions. You know me.
Cool. Yeah, like we said, we are still polishing it, right? And that's why we're having this call to walk you through the first phase of what we have in terms of our proposal, and also help us think through how this working group should look like, or what we should improve in terms of like the structure that we had proposed. Yes. And yes, this will continue even up till the conference. And yeah, I hope that at the end of the conference, we should be able to like have a more refined and more yeah, a more refined proposal that would address some of the questions that you have. Thank you. Okay. Do we have more questions? I see a lot of questions in the chat, and also Joel has been responding to them. But if you would like to come on mic, that's also fine.
Yeah, Bukola, I think we can address on Mike Marta's question, Gauder's question, and perhaps Jose's question, because I think they are relevant for everyone. And I'm happy to start with Marta's question. And she has asked on the chat, can you share examples of successful capacity building initiatives that have come out of previous EduWiki conferences? Perhaps you have an answer, Bukola.
Okay, I can speak about the mentorship programs that we've run in the past, but not as part of the conference that we hold, right? So before now, we usually run a mentorship program, and we are still running this mentorship program, right? And this mentorship program is like a mentor-mentee approach where we have experienced Wikimedia education leaders supporting or sharing their experience new with prospective Wikimedia education leaders who are still learning the ropes, right? And what we do as part of this mentorship is also to see how these experienced mentors can support the work that the mentees are currently running. In the past, I've also been part of this mentorship program where I offered support for the Reading Wikipedia in the Classroom program for a mentee who needed support on how to like develop resources and adapt existing resources that were already being created. Now, these are some of the usefulness of having mentorship program and what we had done in the past to support communities and even education program leaders that are just starting wiki education programs in their community. And yeah, so I hope that responds to the question. And like I said, we are still running a mentorship program, and we hope to share more updates on the progress of that program during the EduWiki conference. And yeah.
Thank you, Bukola. Then just due to time, I'll move to Gauder's question, and I can answer this one. Bukola. That's a tough question. Will the hub make pressure on the WMF to improve things for education, or the effort will still be fully in our side? Well, Gauder, it's a tough question. And of course, I cannot speak, and this is being recorded about the WMF on the WMF. But well, on this case, as most of you know, the WMF doesn't have at this moment an education team. To some extent, this is good news because the education team uh, wasn't generally as effective as some of us would have hoped in the last 10 years, I guess, just like what has happened in other programmatic activities the foundation has run. But at the same time, there is no entity that could take over some of the roles that this team was running. And to some extent, this is what this proposal that Bukola has presented, what it's trying to come up with. It's a solution for these needs that the community has consistently and systematically put forward. But I cannot really provide a more geopolitical answer if this is what you were trying to get an answer for, Gauder.
Okay, there's also a question from Monica, and maybe Jill, you can also respond.
Which question is that?
Okay, so it says, will the educational provide service for which public? Is it for the movements, for the athletes, for the local communities directly?
Okay, so we don't know. So what we know at this moment is are the services that Bukola has listed. We need someone to take care of the education newsletter. We need someone to take care of organizing the EduWiki conference. We need someone that can provide support to the dashboard that many of you as education leaders and education program officers rely on. And many times the dashboard is not sufficiently and quickly maintained because this has been done voluntarily by the main developer of the Wikiedu Foundation and other partners. And we also need someone that can reply to, I would say, the dozens of inquiries we get every week, month around education and Wikimedia. And what we generally do is to submit them to the closest affiliate of the inquiries we get. But sometimes there is no affiliate. Sometimes there are different levels of questions. Sometimes people that really need direct mentorship. So there are many, many needs that are currently not addressed by the infrastructure we have. And this is what we expect to deliver. So how this will evolve is still an open question and definitely needs to be polished by all the stakeholders involved. And this includes everyone here in this meeting. This is completely open. We are at this point just looking at basic maintenance of infrastructure, but there is room here for way further ambitions.
Okay, thank you so much, Joel. I think we are now done with the Q&A, and thank you all so much for asking like all of the questions, and it was good to see them coming. It shows that we all have interest in the proposed EduWiki hub-like structure. How to volunteer? Yeah, so that's where we are going, right? Okay, so given that I've walked you all through what the proposed hub-like structure would look like and what our pilot services entail, I would like you to think of how you can contribute to shaping the EduWiki hub-like structure. And to do this, I would like to see if we can go to the haha slide. I'll drop the link in the chats. Hope this works. Yeah, let me just stop sharing my screen for a bit. Okay, yeah, okay. Trying to. Oops. Hey, yeah, so as a follow-up to this question, how will you contribute to shaping the EduWiki hub-like structure? We have created some questions to get you thinking about what we should improve on and how we can better shape this pilot. And to do that, I would like everyone to go to the slide 8 of this presentation. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's here. Yes, so please let me know if you're on this slide and if I need to rerun this slide. Yeah, I can see we have about 18 participants on this slide. Please, I would like us to respond to this question on the haha slide. Now, I made mention of some working groups, right? And I would like us to think what working group of the hub is most useful to you and why. And you can do that by either commenting directly on the slide. I can see people typing, but okay. Oh, finally I got it now. Thank you. Okay, so please let me know what working group of the hub you think is most useful to you. And I'll just repeat them. We have the outreach and engagement, responsible for expanding EduWiki visibility and impact through partnership communication and promotion of education program. We also have the research. Okay. Yeah, so we also have the resource curation and development, responsible for curating, creating, organizing, and localizing resources to support and scale Wikimedia education program. And then we have the technical infrastructure working group, responsible for supporting technical strategies and also supporting with work on how we can improve the outreach dashboard that's sometimes always breaks and doesn't give you the exact metrics that you want to measure. And finally, we have the capacity building and volunteer support group, uh, which will be responsible for organizing training, mentorship, and peer learning to support the group and well-being of volunteers. So I can see we have 18 participants on the call. To join this slide, please kindly use the link in the chats. It's also very accessible from your mobile. You just need to scroll to the slide, to this slide, which is slide 9. Okay. Yes, which is slide 9. Okay. Says submission close. Really? Why is it close? Okay. Yeah, I think I just opened it up. Sorry, I'm still learning this. Yeah. So it's open now, and I think we all have to type within like a certain time. And then once I click on next voting, yeah, so I can see them coming in. So let's keep it coming. We have 23. Thank you so much. Now it feels, this slide feels alive. Wow. Thank you. Okay, so let's take some few minutes to do that so we can move to the next slide. Okay. Yeah, so I see we have engagements and outreach, we have capacity building, we have network, resource curation. There are a lot of resource curation and development working group, and that's really interesting to see, right? So let's keep that coming, and so as not to waste much time. Okay, I see somebody said sustainability. I would like to hear what you're thinking about, either in the chats as well. Yes, working on communication will be very important. Yeah, I think it's really very important because that's the way we can amplify what the hub would be doing, right? Okay, there's a question regarding the EduWiki conference. Will there be a scholarships? I believe scholarships has already gone out. And now a lot of people should be expecting their responses to the visa applications they made, right? Okay, thank you all so much for responding to this first question. Now we would transition to the next slide and see yeah, what we have there. Okay. Now I'll go to the next slide. And yes, for this, how do you think you could contribute to the hub, to this hub? Now, you have identified the various working groups that you would like to belong to. What do you think would be your specific contribution? What role would you play to ensure that we sustain this hub? To ensure that all of the priorities we've identified for the pilots would not just be an abstract idea, but be achievable. Think I see people typing, right? Okay, I think this is something about the time, maybe the timing I set on the slide. But yes, let's keep it coming. I'm sure it's going to still pop up somehow, somewhere. And also, you feel free to use the chat as well. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Finally, I got it. Put my communications. Please let me know if you can still comment on this. Okay. Yeah. So curriculum development, monitoring and evaluation. There's also puts my communication expertise to work for the hub. Thank you so much. I see we have like we are so looking forward to participating, contributing to this hub, which is really nice. Okay, there's also supports and incorporate Spanish-speaking educational communities into the movement. Yeah, so I think this is one of the reason why we said there was fragmentation in the way different programs are carried out globally, and we believe that the hub is going to like connect and bring different communities together, education leaders, to co-create, develop, work in hands, and see how we can amplify all of the I mean our work, right, globally. Now, someone said networking with other education communities, institutions across different countries. Yeah, so in the past, there've been some a lot of struggle in terms of like partnering with stakeholders in different countries. And I can speak for a fact, coming from my region, where there's a whole lot of bureaucracy, bottlenecks. It's always so difficult to like um, forge partnerships with stakeholders, with education stakeholders in governments, in ministries. And we believe that this would really help us see how we can be more strategic and provide a support, coordinated support for members who want to build partnerships with educational institutions. Okay, thank you so much. How will I be able to contribute to the hub-like structure? Yes, Joel just dropped a link in the, okay, he said something about developing the form. Once we have the call for application ready, we'll be sending them out, and you can all sign up to join any of the working groups, right? Okay, so let's keep that coming. All of your comments, feedbacks that we get from the AHA slide would help us improve our proposal that we had already created or that is still in the pipeline, and also help us improve our three-pager documents of the proposed EduWiki hub. Okay, so yes, I would with this, I would like us to go to the next um question. And I think this is like the final question. How does the current structure align with the future you envision for EduWiki? Now, if the current structure that we have in place does not respond to what you are looking forward to, this is also a good time for you to suggest how we can better support the vision, not just for you, not just for your athletes, but like globally, right? I want us to think beyond the space. How can we ensure that EduWiki responds to the needs of our audience, right? And yeah, because that is very important when we are, as we transition and when we think of sustainability. And this is where, yes, I get to see more welcoming environment for freshers. Yeah, that's a good one. Yes. So I think we can keep our comments. Let's keep the comments. Yeah, thank you. Participants are typing. I see 22 people on this slide. Let's keep it coming. More welcoming environments for freshers, cultural diversity, which is very important. And yeah, I believe we have so many comments, feedback. Please, let's keep them coming. Elaborate on the points of sustainability, both sustainable education and education for sustainable development. Something that is often left behind, especially in developing regions, but has to be highlighted. I'm currently coordinating youth network on ESD, and one of the main concern is that a lot of these efforts are very uncoordinated or lack emphasis even within their own institution, and hoping that this is where EduWiki can provide additional support in being the missing puzzle piece for this. And yes, this goes back to why we need all hands on deck, why we need this to be a collective development approach, right? So that nobody is left behind in the planning process, and that we can better support and meet the needs of our members. And I'm currently trying to do, okay, so I see some comments in the chat as well. We need more education actors within movements. You don't necessarily have to be an education person to contribute here. Yes, you don't necessarily have to be an education person to contribute, because I am not really an education person, but I find myself in this space and I'm learning and I'm still learning. And if it wasn't accommodating, then I wouldn't have gotten to like this position of like having to support our programs, our community efforts, and even like reaching out to members to spotlight the work that they are doing. We can implement inclusivity and diversity and can make it better if someone didn't follow the code of conduct or do harassment of anyone, especially women. Okay, pause. Okay, thank you all so much. I know we all have like a lot of interesting feedbacks, and please, you can continue to interact with this slide. I'll make the slide open, and we continue to take in all of your feedback, comments, and see how we can improve. EduWiki bridging further beyond just the Wikimedia world is definitely key. It is the spirit of Wiki too, to be open and to be there for everyone. And also advocating for more qualitative research on EduWiki pilot initiatives to better understand their pedagogical impacts would inform future implementation, which I totally agree with, right? Yeah, thank you all so much. As we keep the comments, I don't know, Joel, do you have any other feedback?
No,
Anything
I
I'm
don't.
missing that you want to speak about? Okay,
No, I don't,
thank you.
Bukola. I think you did a great job. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, thank you so much. We with this, I think would have to call it a good first call for EduWiki, for the future of EduWiki. And like I said, you can continue to interact with this slide. It's going to be open. And please keep the comments, keep them coming. I'm not the member of the user group, but still want to contribute. But my background is not particularly in education. Can I? Of course, it's an open membership. Like I said, it's for everyone. You're welcome to contribute, and you can become a member by signing up through a membership form. It's on the Meta page. I don't know if Joel, you can help drop the link in the chat. That would be great. Yeah, so we just have 10 more minutes left to the end of this call. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate your time, all of your questions, your feedback, and I believe that at the end of all of this community consultation, we would be able to come up with a more robust plan that responds to the needs of if not everyone, but like our specific needs, and help us improve the proposals, right? Yes, and oh yeah, sorry, I missed this out. Sorry about that. Okay, so there's this question that says, how can they help make sure diverse education stakeholders are engaged with the hub work? So please, you can still drop your comments. Yeah, you can still keep your comments uh by responding on the slide directly, right? So how can they help make sure diverse educational stakeholders are engaged? And this also speaks to some of the comments from, I mean, the slide before this that says, oh, I'm not an education, I don't have experience in education, but I want to run an education program. And how can I be engaged? How can I contribute? So I feel like this would help us see how we can better address that in the pilots. And you can also do that by responding either directly in the chats or like just doing that directly on the AHA slide. Okay, I wonder why it takes time to load. This has to do with the timing. Okay, so please drop your comments in the chats as well, if you will. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, like I said, we can drop our comments in the chats as well. I don't know why it's taking time to load from my end. Okay. And then finally, we can go to the feedback. So please let me know what you think about the session. Was it useful for useful for your wiki education work? Was it useful for you was it useful to provide relevant information about the EduWiki hub structure that we are proposing? And did he also address all of what you were thinking, what you envisioned? Please, let's keep that coming. Loading results. Yeah, please let me know if the submission is still open. I think it's open, right? Okay. Mhm. Oh, it says it's closed. Okay. Yeah. I think you can keep them coming. I can see it's working now. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So we have 5 more minutes left. Please keep your comments coming in. I would like to see your feedback. And yes, yeah, like I said, it's good to see all of our feedback to see how we can better support you. Tell us how useful this was for you. And thank you so much. I see we have 5.0 response. The resource provided during the session seems useful. Thank you so much. And yes, please, if you would like to, if you have any final shout outs, please, this is a good time to shout out. Let us know what you think. If you have a comment, feedback that this slide did not respond to, please let us know by omitting your mic to speak or dropping a comment in the chat as well. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for shaping the future of EduWiki, and we hope to continue to interact with you. We also have a similar session holding tomorrow, but it's going to hold like very early. So if that time zone works for other community members that we're not privileged to join this session, please do well to help us amplify that session as well. And we hope to see you in Bogota, right? I'd love to see everyone in Bogota. I hope we all make it to Bogota. Thank you. Any final words from you, Joel? We still have 3 more minutes.
No, well, I don't have final word. I just want to also thank I think it's Eduardo who is on the interpretation to Spanish. And this is always a way to engage more people and to have more communication. So thank you so much for doing this and for the foundation to providing this opportunity.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for joining today's session. I'll stop sharing my screen now. Yeah, thank you all so much. It was good to have you on this call. I look forward to seeing everyone in Bogota, like I said, and we look forward to like improving EduWiki Hub proposal based on all of your feedbacks that we had gathered here, and we'll continue to like gather even in Bogota. And please continue to interact with the slide, the HA slide. Drop all of your comments on the slide. It's going to be open throughout, even when we get to the conference. Yeah. So thank you all so much, and do have a great rest of your day, afternoon, evening, nights. It's nights my time. So thank you so much.